What's up, Jags? Welcome back to JAG Sports. This week we have highlights from softball and baseball's rematches against Reagan. We recap the regional track meet, and we take an in-depth look at the possibilities of the Caitlin Clark effect taking over the WNBA. This is JAG Sports. First up, the softball team had an electric rematch with the Reagan Rattlers on April 12th here at Wood. We pick up the action in the bottom of the third. Reagan came back from down 3-0 to take the lead 4-3, but junior Melina Moreno strikes Reagan out to end the inning. Top of the sixth, tied at 4, senior Reese Surratt breaks the tie with this single. Jags lead it 5-4. Reagan looks to answer with one out in the bottom, and they do. We're tied at 5. Jags don't score in the 7th, so it all comes down to this. Reagan's got 2 outs and a run will win the game. Deep drive to center is caught by Reese Surratt, and we go to extras. Top of the 8th, this was a stunning turn of events. Junior Ariana Dunkelberger leads off with a single, and Surratt drives in the go-ahead run. Jags lead 6-5. Senior Melania Reeves brings in another 7-5, still no outs. 6 runs and no outs in the 8th, Jags lead 11-5, and sophomore Emily Kamen will give the Jags yet another run. They score 9 in the 8th and beat the Rattlers 14-5. After this rematch, I caught up with senior and Texas State signee Melania Reeves.
I think it just goes back to what we say in practice, like anything is possible, and like what you have to do is just show that you can bounce back, and that's what we did. And especially going in 5-5 into the 8th inning and scoring 9, I think that was just we can do it as long as we just keep pushing.
The Jags finished the regular season with an extra inning loss to the Madison Mavericks and will be taking on Clemens in the first round of the playoffs, beginning tonight at 6 at Clemens. Game 2 will be tomorrow at 6 right here on the West Field at Wood, and if necessary, Game 3 will be on this same field at 10 on Saturday.
I think that one stung a little bit harder because we did lose to them in the first round too, and all the teams that we lost to in the first round, we came back and we beat them in the second round except for Madison. I think Madison's just been a hard matchup the last 2 years. But I think that it just shows that we put up a good fight and they're a good team, and we're going to see a good team in the playoffs. So if we can compete with them, then we can compete with anybody, and it proved that we have a lot more and that we were able to get everything out of us. And even though it didn't come up our way, we still pushed and we still knew that like we can meet those expectations of winning.
Now for results from the Diamond, here's Ethan.
I'm here at the Diamond where the Jags have been practicing and gearing up for a postseason run. They took on Reagan last week, and senior Derek Maples pitched the first 8 innings, only giving up 1 run. After 9 innings, the score was tied at 1 with another game to follow, so it had to be resumed in the 10th the next day, and Reagan ultimately took the win. After a 5-1 loss in 10 innings against Reagan, the hopes of a district title became very slim. However, just because they're not district champions doesn't mean they're out of the playoffs. The Jags take on Madison tonight at the Sports Park with a playoff spot locked up and seeding to be determined.
Yesterday, 15 athletes signed their letter of intent to play at the next level. The schools that will be welcoming the Jags next fall include UTRGV welcoming track and field's Michaela Mitchell, Colorado University welcoming cheerleader Shemika Cole, Furman University welcoming goalie Andrew LaPlaca, and much more.
The regional track meet was last weekend where 19 Jags competed for the chance to go to state. Thomas Bucks made it to state in the pole vault last year with a PR of 16 feet and 3 inches. Bucks is heading back to the state meet on May 4th.
The Caitlin Clark effect is in full swing as she is officially a WNBA pro and was drafted first overall to the Indiana Fever last Monday. At the University of Iowa, Clark set countless records on the court and viewership records across the country. Her 18.89 million viewers in the national championship game against South Carolina were the most viewers for a basketball game at any level in 5 years. With Clark officially signing a rookie contract, the question isn't whether she will break even more records at the professional level. That's inevitable. The question is, will what she does for the game be able to close the gap in pay between the NBA and the WNBA? The pay gap between men and women in sports has been debated for years, and its heat will continue to grow. As #1 pick Caitlin Clark was drafted to the Indiana Fever, and her rookie contract was compared to the #1 pick of the San Antonio Spurs, Victor Wembanyama. How big is the pay gap between these athletes? We asked many Jags to see if they knew the answer, first starting with Victor Wembanyama and how much they think he makes.
Like 1,200? I don't know. Wait, guys, I don't know. 12 million.
15 mil.
55 million.
Maybe like 500 mil.
Probably 50 mil.
Then, we took those responses and compared them to how much they think Caitlin Clark will make in her rookie contract.
I'm gonna say like 80,000.
100,000.
330,000.
Maybe like $10.
Like less than 1.5 mil.
Victor Wembanyama, in his rookie contract with the Spurs, will be making over $55 million, and Caitlin Clark, in her rookie contract, will be making just over $330,000. Yes, a $55 million gap in pay between #1 picks of their respective drafts. So the question persists, will what Caitlin Clark did in college translate over to the WNBA? And if so, how will the pay gap be affected?
It's gonna increase the WNBA's pay, hopefully, and if not, then that's like really messed up. But hopefully that the world realizes that WNBA should be just as equal as the NBA.
100% due to revenue, how much NBA brings in, all the fans and a lot of money, versus the WNBA. Not a lot of people watch. People aren't as interested in attending the games, unfortunately. And so the fan base is smaller, and therefore there isn't enough money to pay anybody $3 million, or what is it, $30 million, you know? So I think that's the reason for the discrepancy. However, I do think Caitlin Clark can help close that gap a little bit and eventually allow women's basketball to kind of catch up some. I don't know that it'll ever be comparable to the NBA, but it's going to be a great thing to see.
That's all for this week, Jags. See you next time with more
Jag action.